Give yourself permission to come up with an idea that's really exciting. Welcome to Coach Grid. My name is Joe Spearden. I'm here with Kirsten Davis. And today we're talking about ingredients. We're not baking, but we are making something. I think in our experience, we get a lot of people that come to us and say, this is the thing I want to build. This is the thing that I want to make. And it's an app or it's some sort of software technological stack. And they say, what do I do? Where do I go from here? And there's a tendency to really simplify what that process can be like. And there are some simple steps, but there's a lot of experience and know-how that go behind those steps. Mm-hmm. So today I would love to talk about the ingredients of a really good app and putting that together in a way that you can feel confident that the thing that you're building is going to accomplish what you want it to accomplish. And for most of our clientele, make you a lot of money while helping a lot of people. So Kirsten Davis, our app creator, our app builder, someone comes in and they have the idea. Is that enough? No. But I mean, like, even just to say, like, I want an app that does this.
That feels so dramatic.
No.
Is it enough?
It's not enough.
You are not enough as you are.
What do they need to come with? Like, even to start building, what do they need to come with?
I think this is a better question for you. I think this is where you really take the lead on. I'm like, yeah, we can do that. Like, you've got a vibe. I can roll with that. And you're like, okay, we need to back up a little bit. So yeah, what is this for you? This is where you really help create a lot of structure and guiding people through what they actually do need. So right. I'm going to flip that back on you.
Well, thank you. You know what? Someone comes to us and has that idea. My first inclination is curiosity. Why do you want to do that? Because I think anything worth pursuing without a really solid why isn't going to go well.
Yeah.
And we want to create an experience for our clients that's really amazing. We want to create an experience for their clients that's really amazing. And if you come in without a why behind the thing that you're wanting to do, then you're not starting off on very good grounding. I used to do real estate. And I learned this process in real estate of layers deep questioning. And we'd call it a 5, 6, 7. And the idea behind a 5, 6, 7 is somebody would start with something really simple. I really want a big window that looks over my backyard. At surface level, it's like, yeah, awesome. We can find you something with that. But instead you say, well, what's important to you about having a big window that overlooks your backyard? And they're like, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Okay, well, think about it. Well, we have some little children and I want to be able to look out at them and see them playing. I could let it go there. We could be done. Or I could say, what's important to you about being able to look out on your kids and see them playing? Well, when I was growing up, I was an only child and my parents were really big, just whatever the story is. It's like, okay, so now we're getting somewhere. You don't want your children to feel alone or isolated the way that you did. What's important to you about your children not feeling that way? And all of a sudden you get down to where they just wanted a window and now they're in tears and their partner's looking at me like,
so that's how you sold so many houses in real estate.
Yeah. I think that this is true. I mean, universally in everything in life, but it's something that sets us apart when we're working with a client, when we're working with a coach. They have a story. They have a reason why. They have a deeper meaning. And when we're clear about that, the rest of the process becomes much easier.
Yeah. And that makes sense because then there's times that clients come in and they're like, I really want a sparkly app. And then we make a sparkly app and they're like, well, why is it sparkling? What if we make it matte and black? And we're like, you literally said you wanted a sparkly but they weren't asking for a sparkly app. They were asking to feel seen by their dad, like right. Whatever it is. And so, yeah, I think that's a really, really good point as a very foundational piece of building an app is knowing why you're building it and what you're really building. Are you building validation from
right.
a parent or a feeling state, or do you want a sparkly app?
Right. That clarity is a little more ethereal. And in the world of app building and in the world of technology and the world of software, that's not common.
I was going to say, I don't know if you're going to click on any other app video where they're like components of a good app.
Right.
Get into the emotion, like go 7 layers deep.
You're really not.
That's what's good about our process.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that really sets us apart. And we'll get further into the ingredients because
the more tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are those components as well, and those are really important. But if you want to save yourself a lot of time and a lot of headache, you figure out what's important to you about doing the thing and not just doing the thing.
Yep.
Man, the whole rest of the process goes a lot easier.
And it changes. You end up with a completely different product that actually works.
Because that actually gives you the thing that you wanted to do. That's where the really life-changing, innovative stuff comes from. It's not like, I need something to replace Calendly. No, you don't. Like, let's get to the deeper thing, because there's 100 things that replace Calendly. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we can build you your own, but what problem are you really trying to solve here?
Right.
Assuming we get through that part and get to that deeper place, for you, when you kind of enter into the process, what are the first questions that you're asking of a client as well? Because once there's clarity about what they want to do and why they want to do it, I think that is really where your brilliance comes in. We get to the deeper why and the problem that they're wanting to solve and why they're wanting to solve that problem. And then we start talking about the time frame. Is this something that needs to be solved this week? Is this something that needs to be solved in a couple of months? All that kind of stuff. And we get some of the semantics and some of the details out of the way. And then we go into what's going to be included in this app. And that's where I think your line of questioning really does come into play, because they already have in their mind, and I already have in my mind often, a preconceived notion of what this is going to look like. And I can close my eyes and say, yeah, the button's going to be here and it's going to do this and it's going to do this. And more often than not, that's not where you take it. And more often than not, where you take it makes way more sense than what I or the client had in their mind.
Yeah, there's a really cheesy thing that I think I've said it on our YouTube before, but Steven Jaggers always says, like, it doesn't make sensation, not just sense, but like, do you feel it? Do you feel that decision and that resonance? And I think we work really well together because you really do embody the masculine across the board. And I am embodying the feminine part of that. So you're like sense, logic, structure, timelines, timeframes. Why are you doing this? Is it aligned? Are we going to end up where we need to go? And then I come in and I'm like, all right, let's, and I'm the creation and the unbounded just possibility. And so, yeah, I think it's a good combo. And I think that that's where you end up with something that you didn't expect, but it makes sense because I wasn't even listening while you were doing the structure. I'm like, I'm just going to trust that's there. I'm going to look at the document you made for me. And then I'm going to kind of, like I've said in the past, I'm going to a little bit throw it out the window for what wants to be birthed for the next generation of creation.
Right. A lot of that is consolidation, which I think is a really important ingredient to a good app. Mm-hmm. The risk that you run in consolidation is you start to lose functionality. Mm-hmm. At least that's, I think, oftentimes the narrative. I need this thing.
Right. Like we tell them to simplify.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to simplify. It needs to do 500 things. That's why it's going to be so valuable.
Right. But you start to simplify, but in a way where the functionality isn't lost. Mm-hmm. And the really cool thing with that is because the functionality isn't lost, the potency goes up. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I have 50 things that I want to do, but I don't need 50 different places. I need 3. And so then the potency of those 3 things is really cool. Mm-hmm. And the way that that's then delivered to either them or to their client.
Yeah, you could even think of it like laundry soap. There's like the soaps that are like mostly water and they come in this big bulky container and it's massive and it looks really impressive. But then you use it on your clothes and you have to use more to get the same effect as there's like little, just even like tablets or tiny little pod things. And you're like, just throw that in there. It'll do the same thing. but it's just such a better user experience. And we prefer that because it's like, oh, now I don't have to find somewhere to store this. And it does the same thing, but better because it solves a lot of problems that were created by it being big and bulky and more.
Maybe with that, the better question is, what are the ingredients that people might think that they need and they don't need in a good app? Because that's what you do. You go in there and you're like, get rid of this, don't need that. And you kind of consolidate it down to what's valuable.
Yeah, I think a big one that comes up is people think they need features to make a good app, but they really need functionality. And there's a big difference between an app that has a lot of features and an app that has rich functionality, because you could have one thing that the app does. They click on one button, and embodied in that are 12 features, but the user doesn't have to know that. They just are receiving the benefits of those 12 features.
With features, one of the new terms that I learned when we started doing some of this was MVP, minimum viable product. And then there's like version 1, version 2, and that can go on forever. Mm-hmm. How do we balance that feature conversation of like, yeah, we can bring those features in the future, but kind of, I guess the question I'm asking is what level of functionality needs to exist, and how do you kind of gauge that for yourself to then say, now is a good time to bring in another feature, versus what a lot of apps do is they say, well, the features we have aren't working, so we need to bring in 4 more, and maybe one of those will, drive engagement.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think from an ingredient standpoint, ingredients of an app, it's less features, and you want to look at categories. And do we have something in the app that fulfills this category? So one thing that's really important is a reason for them to log in. Why are they logging into the app every day? And then another category could be a reason for them to go deeper into the app. So they're not just logging in, like Instagram, you could open it, close it, open it, close it, open it, close it. Or you open it and you see, oh, there's my mom. And then you see there's 3 comments, and there's a spicy comment from your grandma, and she's like calling her out, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go deeper now. So there's like, you open it for a reason, and then why do you stay in it? And those are kind of 2 separate things. They can be complementary. It can be the same thing, but you want to make sure both of those categories are getting checked off. Making sure that they can manage their preferences is a good one. Like, whatever your app does, is there something that allows them to get rid of the buzzing fly, right, metaphorically speaking? Those are a few that come top of mind. Do you have any along those lines categories?
There's, I think, an ethical and unethical conversation. And for those of anybody that's understood social media and maybe seen some of the documentaries about the social media dilemma and some of those things, there's a lot of ways that you can engage people and keep them there in unethical ways. And that's not what we're about. And generally the clientele that we work with, well, not even generally, exclusively the clientele that we've worked with haven't wanted that either. Mm. So then the idea is going back to the thing of what problem are we solving? Can we truly solve that problem? Can we efficiently solve that problem? And can we do it in a way that everybody feels good about it? Mm-hmm. Right? There's a difference between, they solved my problem and it cost 10 times as much as I thought it would. And there's a level of like, I got taken advantage of. Then there's other experiences where people are like, I would have paid 10 times that for what that experience was and for the problem that it solved.
Yeah.
And that's one of the really cool things with technology is the way that you're able to innovate to solve problems and to solve problems for a lot of people that previously was really time consuming and really monetarily consuming and expensive. And that doesn't have to be that way anymore.
Yeah, so, it is. I think it's the users feel like, man, I would have paid 10 times more. And that you as the host of the app or the product is like, wow, I would have done this for 10 times less.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's a good way to.
That's really what you want to go for. That's the balance that you want to strike, where it's a full, not just win-win. It's like expand, like on both sides. It just, and then that ripples out into really incredible things. That's where you get massive momentum.
Absolutely.
Word of mouth, people start doing your marketing for you. It's like, especially in the coaching industry, that's big.
Yeah. That was the other point that I was going to make, is creating experience that other people are excited to share. And I think, again, just about everybody has experienced that at some point, is they've downloaded an app, and before they've even really experienced the full breadth of what it can do, they're already texting, posting, sharing it with somebody else, and be like, oh my gosh, you got to check this out for whatever reason, the entertainment value or the problem that's solved or any of those things. So going back to our initial subject matter of this, and for somebody that's watching this that has an idea for an app and hopefully can kind of take that process and go deeper, and why do I have this idea for an app? What do I want to do? What do they do when they have the ingredients, and what do you think can really be done for them that it's better for them to have somebody else do, just on a general level?
If you're not a developer, you don't have software experience, you can really do a lot of the creative process, the idea gathering. I think that something that is really valuable is somebody who understands architecture, and there's not really just a black and white way to design software. There's like better practices, there's some best practices, and then there's a lot of gray area where it's like, well, it depends on what you're trying to do. There's some cases that something would work really bad for one model and forward moving vision, but in a different circumstance, it actually is a perfect fit. And so it's being able to understand that and then design the things you don't see that are underneath in a really good way.
Yeah.
I think that's important. That's the biggest one that comes up.
I think that's great. For me, what comes up, and we can end here, for someone that has this app idea, is to dare to dream a little bigger, right? The world that we live in right now, it can be scary when you see what technology is doing. And there's ideas that you never had that all of a sudden are out there and really a part of your world. But what I believe that the world is calling for, and the advancements is calling for, is for you to dream a little bigger too. And don't be boring. Give yourself permission to be big. Give yourself permission to come up with an idea that's really exciting, that probably feels a little daunting.
Yeah.
Because I've seen this time and time again in people that come and talk to us. Once we help them catch the fire, then like, oh my gosh, that's possible? Watch out. Because at that point, they're like, well, what if it could do this? Like, okay, yeah, now we're cooking. Now we have something really cool. And now we're thinking outside of the box of the 10,000 other things that already exist.
Yeah.
So the person that has the idea and is looking for an ingredient, dare to dream a little bigger, and then find the people that are willing to execute on that dream, rather than saying, no, you need to come back into the box of what we do, and we only do these 4 things. And no, let's go build that dream and make that happen. Yeah,
I think that's really that's big, because that also creates a really powerful tool against fear and against how quickly things are moving in technology right now, in the world, really. Because if you're not afraid to dream bigger, then when you see something, like something gets launched and it's like, this is the exact idea you just had, now it's already in the market, or it's becoming irrelevant really quick. When you're staying open-minded like that and you're looking for, okay, that's there, and just staying very present and real about what's happening, then that expansion really just becomes this like flow state of business and creation and money. Like, you're not doing this anymore. I think that happens a lot in the coaching industry. There's this trend, and then everybody's like, now our sales are going down. Now they're going up. Now they're going down. And that's the nature of markets. But the more that you dare to dream and release the fear and release the idea that there could ever be competition with what really wants to come through in its largest, fullest form, the more that starts to stabilize and just upward trajectory.
Thank you for being with us here today. I hope that you have gotten something from this as you have an idea, as you have a dream, as you have a vision, something that you're wanting to execute on. I would imagine you also have a narrative of why it hasn't been possible. It's possible now. If you want to turn that dream into a reality, go to coachgrid.com and reach out to us there, or go to Instagram @coachgrid. We'd love to help you make that process come true.